Good evening, everyone. So before we really get going, can you hear me? That embarrassing bit where I talk to myself and say, can you hear me? And nobody can answer me because it's 20 seconds before you hear it. So when you can hear me, if somebody could just say, yes, I can hear you. Of course, if you can't say that. But yes, I can hear you would be great. Awesome, Samantha. You can hear me. Excellent. Right. Welcome to the first annual RoSAnOnS Awards. A star-studded evening. Some of the stars are in the chat. Which is definitely not going to go according to plan. I pre-recorded everything I could pre-record, because I thought my chances of coordinating 5 live people presenting the awards was about 0. Some days I have trouble coordinating myself, let's be honest. An open broadcasting system is fabulous, and one of these days I'll learn how to use it properly. My goodness, YouTube tells me I've got an excellent connection. That won't last. So, welcome. Everyone, the important thing that you need tonight is one of these. A paper aeroplane. I'll explain why later. I have 3. I have the sort of, which way is it going? The sort of cargo plane, chug along the runway and just about take off model. I have the Concorde, which will fly well, possibly. I haven't tried it. And everybody's favourite airplane from their local airfield that sort of flies over their house and makes a noise. So, I hope everyone has a paper airplane, and I'll explain about the paper aeroplanes right now. If you haven't heard of the Annals of Improbable Research and the annual Ig Nobel Award ceremony, you really should. I came across it quite by accident, I think, at the beginning of lockdown. I remember it, I was, for some obscure reason, sitting on the living room floor, as you do, watching YouTube. And I came across this video of whatever it was, the 28th or the 29th annual award ceremony, and I started watching it. And for about the first 30 seconds I thought, what on earth's going on here? Then I thought, well, that's a bit daft. And then I started to realise that it's real. As in, the person that runs the Annals of Improbable Research, the research projects that they feature in their videos are genuine. And it's a star-studded occasion from Harvard University, which is completely and utterly bonkers, and you've just got to watch it. But they have paper aeroplane tossing. And when I first planned these awards, I thought paper aeroplane tossing, and then I thought, well, I can't do that because that's someone else's idea and they're going to kill me, or worse still, get my YouTube channel taken down. So I emailed them, and with grateful thanks to Mark from the Annals, from Improbable Research, we have permission to do airplane tossing. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, get your paper planes ready. And we're going to have the first of, it might be 3 airplane tosses. There might be more, if I can find where they land. So, get your paper airplanes ready, ladies and gentlemen, for the first airplane toss. I probably should toss it over. No, hang on. The picture on my screen is backwards. It really isn't helping my direction, trust me. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the first paper airplane toss is about to take place. Whee! Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? Let's toss another one. A maybe Concorde might sort of fly around a bit or something. I don't know. Well, whatever. Who cares? I've got my cup of tea here. I was going to get something stronger, but I thought that probably ought to wait till the end. So, if you've got any questions, please ask them in the chat. There's a slight possibility I might actually see them and answer them, you never know. So, what's all this about? I wish I knew. Either I spent hours and hours and hours going through all my videos, picking out the most worthy winners, or I just did whatever came into my head and picked out the ones that I remember. I'll let you be the judge of that. I came up with 5 categories, and in each category there are 3 nominations, as nominated by me. And for each category we have a little pre-prepared video reminding you of the nominations, and then the star of the show, whoever is announcing the winner, which will be a huge surprise to everybody, including the person opening the envelope with the winner's name on it. And if you believe any of that, this is probably not the right channel for you. Do you believe anything on my channel? Do I believe anything on my channel? I was sitting the other day realising that unintentionally, and I have to think about it for next year, this has become some kind of comedy channel. Started off terribly serious 2 years ago, and then it just went downhill, I guess. So, what's the weather like in all your areas, says Roger. Cold, says Kathy. Yeah, I'll go with that, Kathy. It's cold. So, we have 5 categories tonight. That's good, wasn't it? See, carefully, cunningly designed so that I can do it with one hand. We have the best series of 4+ videos. We have Who Am I? A topic that troubles a lot of scammers, obviously. We have Where Am I? And if it wasn't for the fact that Frank James isn't coming out till January, Frank James would have won. But unfortunately, look out for Frank James in January, because he probably would have done a clean sweep of most of the categories. Apart from the next one, which is the most unlikely name. I don't think we can say Frank James is an unlikely name. And the one that troubles me every time I do a live, and also when I make most videos, what am I talking about? That's not me asking you, what am I talking about? That's the title of the category. We can get to know ourselves better. Yes, we can indeed, Kathy. So, without further ado, drum roll, because I don't have a drum roll, so you have to do your own drum rolls. So, coordinating what I've got is enough. If it works, it'll be a minor miracle. If it works, it'll be a major miracle. Oh, thank you so much, Barking Paws. That's very kind of you. And hi. And you have caught a live, because we're live. Although in a minute you might all wish we weren't. So, first of all, we're going to do the best series. There was stiff competition in the category for Best Series of 4+ episodes, and the nominations were Mark Sith John, Mohammed Ahmed and David Bryant. I disallowed Alistair Leslie and Glyn Werner because they were 2021. And now let's just remind ourselves of these lovely gentlemen. Firstly, Mark Sith John. There were 12 episodes of him. I even created new characters just to wind him up. In the first 4 episodes, he was talking to Denise, and he was quite seriously trying to get Denise to go to Derby to visit one of his real-life victims. In episode 4, she called him out for lying when he tried to convince her that they didn't even have clean water and had sent her some photos of garden taps that he'd taken from Google. Denise decided it was time to turn on him, and he put in an Oscar-winning performance.
I've been punished. Do you know I had an accident while coming to Wisconsin and my leg got broken over 6 months?
Oh dear, that's very sad.
All because this lady, why she sent me to head office in Wisconsin. I had little accident. I have been in hospital for 6 months. Could you believe I've exhausted all money because of this lady? I registered a case in the beneficiary's office if over 13,000 something, $13,500.
Upman Mohammed was talking to Celia. He told Celia that he came from the Lebanon and he couldn't decide whether he was a gold miner or a jewellery maker. But he kept promising her gold rings. At the end of episode 1, he thought he'd call Celia. And he kept telling her that he had to search his phone. What was he searching his phone for? Probably one of those stolen videos. And some scammers need more practice than others at what they do. Ahmed Mohammed definitely needed more practice.
Okay, then let me search it again. Let me search it and again call you so that you believe me, right? It's fun. I need to search on phone. Wait, I'm searching it so that you can see.
And the third contender for best series of 4+ episodes was our recent friend, David Bryant. David is a gem dealer, and he was in Dubai for an auction. He was doing well till he discovered the enormous taxes that he had to pay to export the gems that he'd bought, and he thought maybe Cassandra might be able to help him. But he really struggled when it came to asking her for money, and then, of course, came the fake embarrassment. About your problems yet?
No, baby, I haven't. I really haven't. This whole thing's weighing me down. Right now, I've exhausted all my options. Up to the extent the executive had to help me out with about 5,000, right? I said, as soon as I get back into the United States, I'm going to do that. That's going to be in a month's time because I have to go meet up with my fiance, right? I told him I have to go meet up with my fiance in the United Kingdom, right? When I'm done from there, when I get back into the United States, I'm going to be spending about 3 weeks there. So as soon as I'm done from there, get back into the United States, I'm going to, reimburse him. And said, okay, you have to help come up with a ground for me. Right now, I'm left about 12,000 and some fractions, right?
So before we go any further, could you actually hear the audio on that video? Because I can't hear it here, but I think when I did tests earlier on, the audio was transmitting. So before we announce the winners, can you just tell me, could you hear that video? And now that really difficult bit where I wait till somebody says, yes, I could hear it, or no, I couldn't, because I know you're all dying to hear who won. In fact, you can place your... Yes, you can. Awesome. Audio's good. Excellent. Thank you very much. So, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think won? The voting was close. I had the casting vote, but then I had the casting vote on all of them because I was the only vote. So, without further ado... well, I should say, it's me back again. Without further ado, over to tonight's guest to announce the winner. And I say tonight's guest because I've forgotten who it was. But who cares? It was some star-studded person who I backed into a corner and gave no option but to present the winner of the best series of 4+ episodes.
Okay, go get the envelope. The envelope. Oh. Thank you. Okay, this is Bear. He got the envelope. Let's see, the best series. Okay, Love is Money. Bear, did you get me the right envelope? You did. Oh, you're going to turn it around. The winner is Mark Sith John. Yay! All scammers thank Love is Money. Are you sure you don't want to get that Steam card? And have you eaten yet? I need to eat, so I need a Steam card. I love you. You want to get married? Well, thanks again. Don't forget that Steam card.
With grateful thanks to Kit Kat, who was actually in bed with bronchitis and got out of her sick bed especially to record that for us. And there was only ever going to be one winner, wasn't there? Bearing in mind that Alistair Leslie was last year. It had to be Marxist John. Yes, thank you very much, Michelle. I agree, a well-deserved winner. And I think now is a good time to have another paper airplane toss. I think we'll have one between each video. Or should I say, between each category. Yes, I do need a Steam card. No, I don't. I wouldn't even know what to do with a Steam card, Kathy. Unless it heats your house, of course. That would be useful. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, get your paper airplanes ready for the next paper airplane toss before we move on to the next category. I hope you've all got your paper airplanes ready, because here we go. Because I'm going to have to go and pick all these up now, aren't I, when I pay you in the next video. Here we go, paper airplane tossing. Whee! Oh, that one flew. That was a good one. Okay. And now, on to the next category. The next category is titled, Who Am I? Who am I is a topic that of course troubles a lot of scammers. Many of whom apparently use one name for their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or goodness knows what else account, and a completely different name when they get onto chat, WhatsApp, Hangouts or wherever. But they all have increasingly ridiculous explanations for why they've changed their name. But for the category of Who Am I, we had 3 nominations. One, as you'll discover, was using photographs of somebody really famous and had no idea whose photographs they were using. And 2 were using the names of somebody that was easily found on YouTube, so we were able to compare the scammer's voice with the real person. So, take it away. Here we go. Here are the nominations for the category Who Am I? Most scammers pick random names, but some use the names of famous people or people who can easily be found online, and some use the photographs of famous people. So this category is called Who Am I? And the nominations are David Journal, Marxist John and Michael Vereen. David Journal was using this photograph on his Facebook profile. I didn't blur it out in the video because that's Prince Andrew, member of the UK royal family, and his photographs are widely available online. Many of my viewers from around the world recognise Prince Andrew. Unfortunately, that didn't include the scammer that was using the photographs. Denise asked him, why are you pretending to live in Oklahoma when you're using your real photograph? I'm not pretending to live in Oklahoma, he said. Denise continued, you don't have to pretend. I know who you are, which, it became very clear very quickly, was more than the scammer did. Who I'm? He asked. What kind of questions are you really asking me about? And a bit later in the video, when Denise said, there's no point in pretending, I know who you are, the scammer's very eloquent reply was, who I'm called my name, or who am? Stringing together a few words, as scammers often do, hoping they might make a sentence, the gist of which I think was that he had no idea who he was. Our old friend Marxist John talked to all of my girls, and the first few he called, so we were able to hear his voice. On chat, he changed his name to Andrew Gunter, and he told Annie, I am real, Sir Sebi, the journalist, which he couldn't spell, of The Voice, which he also couldn't spell, of The American. You'd think a journalist would know who he worked for. Of course, the real journalist wasn't hard to find on YouTube, so here's a quick comparison of our scammer and the real journalist.
I'm not Turkish, okay? I'm not Turkish, okay? I speak all kinds of languages, okay? I'm a traveler. I told you I'm a journalist. What do you think journalists should do, huh?
And for comparison, here's the real Turkish journalist.
39 ilde çıkan 174 orman yangınından 161'i kontrol
And the third contender is Michael Vereen. Michael Vereen was talking to Celia, and he sent a photograph of Michael Vereen with his name written across the front of his uniform, so it really wasn't hard to find him. The real Michael Vereen, that is, not the scammer. Here's our scammer showing off his impressive American accent.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, so how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. So are you back from work? I just want to hear your lovely voice.
It's not hard to tell the difference between our scammer and the real Michael Vereen.
I'm an Army brat, and so I got introduced to the Army a long time ago.
And I can see that some of you have guessed the winner already. Anyone that didn't see the videos, Diana, for example, I've left the links to all the videos in the description box underneath this video. So if you come back after we've finished, all the links are there so that you can catch up on all the, what's the word I want? Renegades, that's the one. And assorted characters. And so, without further ado, I'm almost getting there. Without further ado, we have Perfume Addict. Yes, to announce the winner for you. Well, when I say without further ado, you know, when I've got my cursor back over here, most scammers pick random.
I'm receiving this award on behalf of David Journal, who's in the category of Who Am I? Because he certainly didn't know who he was, because he was using a picture of Prince Andrew. Currently, David Journal is being hunted down by the IBI, the Idiot Bureau of Investigation. He has been seen recently at Frogmore Cottage on the Queen's estate, surrounded by guard dogs of corgis. We ask you not to approach him, as the corgis do have a very vicious bite. He was also believed to have seen Giselle Maxwell in the Alcatraz prison, but they both had tried to escape by dinghies powered by penguins. But unfortunately, their attempt failed because the penguins' beaks punctured the dinghies. We now believe he is in hiding from the IBI in a sand bunker in Lagos, Nigeria. He believes covering his phone with tinfoil, as Giselle Maxwell did, will prevent his capture and location. But we believe now, due to the hot climate, he has now actually fried his own phone. We are now looking for smoke signals instead of phone signals. We will serve this award when we arrest him for being such a stupid scammer. Many thanks.
With huge apologies to Perfume Addict, I promise you that A, when she sent me that video, it was the right way up. She wasn't lying on her side. And B, I have no idea whether I've paid you part of it, all of it, or the whole thing through several times, because it wasn't coming up properly in OBS either. So huge apologies to Perfume Addict, but I'm sure you got the gist of it. The winner, obviously, was David Bryant, who didn't know that he was Prince Andrew. I hope Perfume Addict will forgive me for making a complete pig's ear, basically, of her video. I'm so sorry, Perfume Addict. I'll grovel humbly for half of next year. And now, let's have another paper aeroplane toss before we go on to the category that you've all been waiting for. And I retrieved my paper aeroplanes while those videos were playing. So, time for another paper aeroplane toss, but this time we're using Concorde, believe it or not. All three of them finished up in almost exactly the same place. Thank you, Perfume Addict. I'm very grateful that you've forgiven me. Right, and next up, no. Next up, we're doing a paper aeroplane toss. You fool! That's why I'm holding one. You fool! It's all right. I've had a horrible cold and flu, and about 3 hours ago I was asleep on the sofa feeling completely rubbish. And then when I woke up, I was feeling a bit better. So, go with the flow. Can't get any worse, can it? We're going to have another paper aeroplane toss. Here we go. Whee! Oh God, let's make it 2 for good measure. Right. And now on to the next category. Where am I? As I say, we have a winner for next year, but you haven't seen him yet. But for this year, these were the nominations in the category Where Am I? And now, the category you've all been waiting for, Most Geographically Challenged, otherwise known as Where Am I? For 2023, I think we already have a clear winner, but you haven't seen him yet. Look out for Frank James in January. But for 2022, we have, as for all the other categories, 3 nominations. James Brown, Johnson James, and Holland Shemord Salou. Let's start by reminding ourselves why each of these characters has made it into the final. James Brown told Celia that he was on a ship, travelling from Miami to Thailand. As many scammers are, he seemed a little confused about the route that they might be taking. He was on a ship that he seemed to think was refining crude oil, and Celia made repeated attempts to ask him where he was at sea and which route his ship was taking. "Where is your ship heading to?" And this, you'll soon realise, is the most difficult question that Celia, or anyone else, could ever ask him. "The ship is heading to Thailand. I and my crew members on board are working to refine crude oil to be able to store them well." And then, feeling left out, Google made a completely random interruption. "The sea," it said, "separates the coasts of Egypt, Sudan and Eritrea to the west from those of Saudi Arabia and Yemen to the east." And then he told Celia he was passing through the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, and then entering the Mediterranean before going to Thailand. I drew a map of the most likely route based on what he'd told Celia, which included telling her that they were going round the south coast of South America. And here it is. I'm no sailor, but it does seem to me that he would have been better off either going through the Mediterranean first, the other way down the Suez Canal, and then through the Red Sea to Thailand, or going through the Panama Canal and heading west across the Pacific. But what would I know? The second nomination is our old friend Johnson James, who told Denise, "My dear friend, I'm in California." And when Denise asked him where in California, he said United States. And when she finally managed to get him to tell her where he worked, he said, "My dear friend, Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland, Ohio." So she asked him if he drove to work every day, to which he replied, "My dear friend, I have a good friend that come around and take me to work." "Is your friend a pilot?" Denise asked, to which our man replied, "My dear friend, my friend is a pilot." His route to work appeared to be around 2,345 miles, which I think is about 5 hours flying time. And I'm sure you're all dying to hear a reminder of our friend Johnson James when he called Denise.
Yeah, my sweetheart, you are really so beautiful to me, and the way you talk to me, I really love you so much. I'm fully in love with you, seriously.
Oh, that's very kind of you, darling. So what you doing at work today?
My sweetheart, seriously, I'm busy. I'm busy seeing my patient.
And the final contender is Holland Shemord Salou, who told Serafina, "I work with the Shell Oil Company as a rig supervisor at the platform in the Middle Ocean there in Berlin, Germany." When she asked him again why Berlin was in the middle of the sea, his reply was, "I'm in the ocean here. I work in the rig." He then started talking to Celia, and he told Celia the same story, except that Celia concluded that he meant that he was on a lake in Berlin. And when she asked him the name of the lake that he was on in Berlin, his reply was, "I'm on ExxonMobil drilling rig." So of course she asked him again, "What's the name of the lake?" To which our man replied, "ExxonMobil." So now that you've reminded yourself of the nominations for this hotly contested category, this hotly contested category, I probably need more tea. Who wants to guess who the winner is? And Diana made a comment earlier on that I was going to answer, and now it's gone off the top of the screen, so I can't see it. Sorry about that, Diana. And yes, Kathy, you do all have to watch the videos next year and keep track of your nominations, because otherwise I'll have to do it all myself again. So, without further ado, please welcome Roger Williams Scam Baiting to announce the winner of this hotly contested category. And I see we have one suggestion there from Crystal. Were you right? And now, the category you've all been waiting for.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Roger Williams from Roger Williams Scam Baiting. I'm here to announce the winner of the most geographically challenged scammer. And the winner is Johnson James! Yay! Come on, Johnson James, come get your award. Thank you for the award, Roger Williams. Thank you, sweetheart, for awarding me geographically challenged scammer. Thank you so very much. I know where I'm going. I'm going to go to work to Cincinnati and then go back to live in my home in California. Thank you so much. Thank you for the award. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Where's my iTunes card at now? Where's the iTunes card? Sweetie, I love you. Thank you so much for the iTunes card. Thank you so much for the award. Thank you. And I hope everybody's good. Thank you so very much. Thank you for all the scammers and slime balls that helped me throughout the way. Thank you so much. Thank you for the award. Thank you so much. Where's my sweetheart at? I'm coming to see you, sweetheart. I just need iTunes card. Okay, thank you, but no thank you, Johnson James. Okay, now get out of here. Back to you, Miss Annie.
And it's me back again, and Crystal got it right. So, before we go on to the next category, we're going to have some more paper airplane tossing, because we can, and because I retrieved them while that video was playing. The next category is going to be most unlikely name. But before we do that, let's have another paper airplane toss. I hope you've all got your paper airplanes ready. And here we go. Whee! And let's launch the cargo plane. Oh, that's what Diana said, wasn't it? It was nice to see Concorde flying again. Yes. I haven't even had anything to drink yet. Perhaps I should have brought a large glass of something. Anyway, and another paper aeroplane toss. Whee! Okay, right. And now we're on to the most unlikely name. I was helped in the choice of most unlikely name by our old friend, Dr. Watson, who shortly will be announcing the category winner. As with all the other categories, there are 3 hot contenders: My Next Dust, Great God, and Innocent. My Next Dust introduced himself to Cassandra on Facebook. My Next struggled, and when they moved to Hangouts, he changed his name very sensibly. I don't understand you are, he said. So can we be friends, so we can make ourselves? I'm from Brisbane, Australia, working in Libya, ? Where are you from? Why are you asking me if you're working in Libya? Said Cassandra. Don't you know where you work? I find that very odd. I don't need to make myself. My parents did that 62 years plus 9 months ago. To which our man replied, Good. My Next changed his name when they got onto Hangouts, and he was one of the geographically challenged. He claimed he came from Australia. Where in Australia? Replied Cassandra. And why is it so hard to get you to give me a sensible answer? It's so tedious. Resource Centre? This is the name of the hospital. That can I use to work in Australia? Yes, you said that, replied Cassandra several times. Where is it? Where in Australia? Australian Capital Territory, he said. Yes, getting closer, replied Cassandra. Where in ACT? Town High Resolute in Australia, he said, having copied part of the caption from a high-res photo somewhere online. Would you like to try again? Replied Cassandra, and give you the name of a real place in Australia. So our man went back to whichever photo site he was using and copied a slightly longer, meaningless sentence. Australia, village, town, High Resolute. One morning, Denise was online, and she received a message request from God. Unfortunately, I didn't think to screenshot it at the time, but the computer actually told Denise that she had a message request from God. Hello, are you there? Said God, or the great God. Yes, said Denise. Who are you? My name is Clement John, he said. Do I know you? Asked Denise. How are you doing today? He asked. Do I know you? Asked Denise. I'm not here to fight anymore. And our final contender for most unlikely name is Innocent. Innocent told Cassandra that he was a pilot. I'm a pilot, he said. How exciting, replied Cassandra. Which airline do you work for? Hartsfield Jackson Airport, he replied. I asked which airline you work for, said Cassandra again. I'm staying in Atlanta, he replied. Where are you from? Which airline do you work for? Asked Cassandra again. I'm from England. Spirit Airlines, said our man, having Googled for a US airline. What plane do you fly? U-2 spy plane, United States. As I think I said at the beginning of that video, I was helped in the choice of winner by my old friend and our online researcher, Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson is a real person, as you'll hear in a minute, but she chose not to appear on camera. So thank you very much, Dr. Watson, for making me spend 20 minutes illustrating your video. You're welcome. So without further ado, let's see how many of you got it right. I see there's a split vote. Half of you are right and half of you aren't. I was helped in the choice of most unlikely.
And the winner is... I might need my high-tech spy monocle to read this because it's written in code. Just let me open this envelope. Well, it's our beloved pilot, Mr. Innocent. Well, Innocent couldn't be here tonight. He's too busy pretending to be a pilot on his Xbox, so I'll have to ask one of our glamorous local girls to come up and accept it on his behalf. What about Seraphina? Oh, right, okay. Seraphina's busy at the back of the hall trying to sign people up to a lifetime subscription of her latest candle range, bravely named Smells of Glastonbury. I'm not sure she's thought that one through. What about Cassandra? Is she near the podium? Oh no, she's striding about at the back shouting that she's lost her chauffeur. Well, what about Denise? Come on, Denise, I know you're here somewhere. Where are you hiding? Nope, she's apparently in the bar arguing with the bartender that she doesn't want any of these newfangled cocktail thingamies. She just wants a nice cup of tea. Oh well, I shall just have to accept this then myself on behalf of Mr. Innocent. I'll take it back to my secret operations bunker. Maybe I could use it as a stand for my monocle, or flog it maybe on eBay. Thank you, people. Thank you.
Thank you very much for Dr. Watson for presenting that. Please don't start a fight in the comments. I wonder what daft names we're going to get for next year. There's no daft ones coming up for January. There's some good videos coming up in January. I mean, good scammers coming up in January. And we're going to have one more paper aeroplane toss, and then the last category, because I've got a paper aeroplane down here, look. Yay! Paper aeroplane. Now... And YouTube Studio very helpfully has just popped up a message saying now would be a good time to insert ads. So just pretend this is an advert break and we'll toss an aeroplane while I'll tell YouTube what to do with its idea for inserting ads. Toss an aeroplane, whee! And now I'll tell YouTube that we don't want any ads. Thank you very much. Goodbye. And so the final category of the night of this star-studded occasion is what am I talking about? A topic that bothers me a lot, as I said before, especially when I'm making the videos or talking to you, and you're probably sitting there thinking, what's she talking about? But it's also a topic that troubles a lot of our scammers. And now for the category that gave me the biggest headache when choosing the winner. What am I talking about? That's the name of the category, by the way, not me asking you what I'm talking about. Although, of course, I spend a lot of time asking myself, what am I talking about? Especially when I'm talking to scammers. But the category is called What Am I Talking About? And as with the other categories, there was some very stiff competition. And the nominations for this hotly contended category are Johnson James, Harry Conti and Mufta. Now, let's remind ourselves how these three jolly candidates made the finals. I don't think anyone knew what Johnson James was talking about. I don't think Johnson James knew what he was talking about. But here are a few jolly reminders of some of the ridiculous things he said.
I need the ATU card because my phone, I need to upgrade my phone.
Yeah,
I really love you so much. You are my money star. You are so beautiful to me.
First of all,
yeah, my sweetheart, really trust me so much. I really love you so much. My sweetheart, really get me the ATU card because I want to use it to upgrade my phone.
Harry Conti liked holes and cans and paperwork. He told Celia he was into oil dector. And when she asked him what that meant, he said dector means where the oil is coming out from. Is it a kind of hole in the ground, or are you just digging yourself a hole? To which our man replied, is a can of a hole in the ground. A can, said Celia. You mean like a baked bean can? Is that what you use to get refined oil? Pressed further, he said, you asked me if it's a hole, and I said yesterday. So a can is a type of hole, asked Celia, to which our man replied, yes. OK, she said, is it a special hole for refined oil? To which our man again replied, yes. A little later in the conversation, our man got on to paperwork, but surely it won't take you 6 weeks to do some paperwork. That's a lot of paperwork. I have a lot in mind, he said. Now to the contract will be when I am asked to. Obviously, said Celia, who clearly had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, it won't, he said. Of course not, replied Celia. I wouldn't expect it to. But you know how paperwork is, he said. It needs a lot of time, so I won't like to leave it for another thing. Oh no, replied Celia. Paperwork hates being left for another thing. It can get very jealous. And the final contender in the category, what am I talking about, is Mufta. I don't think anybody knew what he was talking about. His conversation with Denise included this enlightening exchange. Oik, blee, he said. Denise, of course, replied, diddly and par slims. I mean, what else would you have said? Like you, he said, I ook you, and sent her one of many jumping dogs with hearts. Denise, of course, replied, oiktly Bibbledom. And of course, nobody could forget that farting cat. Tell me that cat isn't farting hearts. Okay, let's play Guess the Winner. I see we have several votes for the cans. Yes, Muftar sent the farting cat and carrot. And now we're getting votes for the farting cat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to announce the winner of this hotly contested category, we have a new recruit to this channel. Yes, none other than my own sister, who also chose not to appear on camera, but she recorded this audio announcing the winner. And now for the category.
Can I just say first how extremely honoured I am to be allowed to give this award to the category of who knows what they're saying. I have to say I've watched all 3 videos, all of which are completely incomprehensible. So without further ado, I shall open up the envelope to see who's won this prestigious award. Oh my, Italy 77, goodness gracious me, ilkly more about tact. Oh, apologies, just farted a heart there. And the winner today is Muftar. Come on, Muftar, come and get your award. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Apparently, he's not available to take the award. So I guess I have to accept it on his behalf. So can I just say, fiddly diddly 77 66 Italy, bloody bloody flibbity flobbity, flabbity flibbity flobbity flibbity, Italy. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes tonight's star-studded ceremony. I'd like to give my very grateful thanks to all those of you who volunteered, or maybe you were just press-ganged into announcing a category winner for me. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. And I'm sure, oh look, each and every one of you, that's from the scam call centres, isn't it? And I don't do those. Thank you ever so much for everyone to coming along tonight. Thank you, even more thanks to those of you that have actually stayed. Does anyone have any questions? And that's another embarrassing thing, like at the beginning when I say, can anyone hear me? Because I now have to wait 20 seconds before you hear me, and then you can type a question if you've got one. And if you haven't, I'm just talking to myself. But that's quite normal. That's why I have a cat. Because then I can pretend I'm talking to the cat, who's fast asleep in her basket outside the door here at the moment. What did my sister say? I don't know. She's my sister. She probably as nuts as I am. Have I eaten? No, I'm sorry, Roger Williams. I'm having a breatharian day. Oh dear, Ankara, how horrible. I hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you to all the moderators for turning up tonight. Perfume Addict, Michelle, Betty, Kathy. Have I missed anyone? If you're a moderator and you're here and I've missed you, please say I've missed you. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you very much, Audrey. Sorry, I didn't understand that, Kathy, but that's probably something out of the videos, because it's weird when I play you those videos, I can't hear the sound here, and I had to do several trial runs to convince myself that you could hear them. Oh yeah, it's good when Sophie comes and says hello, isn't it, barking balls. It was even better when I had my old Lillipus. She was much more talkative. Sophie doesn't really say nearly so much. Yeah, Johnson James was. I tried to think of categories, Melody, that Johnson James wasn't just going to win every one, because that would have kind of spoilt it, really. Thank you for the Christmas trees, Beverly. Okay, well, I think that about concludes it. That's enough nuttiness for one night, isn't it? Get your paperette. Look, let's have corn called again. There you go. Happy Christmas. Would have chased the planes if she wasn't sleeping yet. She's not allowed in, I'm afraid, as I've probably said before. She was attacked back in April and she's doubly incontinent. So there's only certain parts of the house, unfortunately, that she's allowed in. And the bits she is allowed in, everything's covered, and I do a lot of washing. But her bed is washable, and she's asleep in that at the moment. So, yes, there's nothing like a bit of existential polymorphism. I'm trying to think of some new hobbies for 2023, because I'm sure we're all fed up with that and yogic chair dancing. So I need to think of something else. So, happy Christmas to everyone. Sorry, the reason I went silent was because I was reading your comments, not because I didn't know what to say. I stick with that excuse, by the way. So, happy Christmas, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. And we will conclude with one more paper airplane toss. Hope you all have a good Christmas. If you're on your own, I hope you have a quiet, peaceful day. If you're with family, I hope you have a very happy time. And if you're struggling at the moment, just know that you're not alone, and we will all be thinking of you. Handstand, line and square dancing. That's a good one. I like it. Yes. I think I'm going to use the underwater watercolour painting more often. I don't think anyone's spotted that. And I'll put some more random words together. Here's to 2023. See you all. Well, there's a Christmas special coming out. It won't be live because I'll be eating. But there is a Christmas special coming out. I haven't finished making it yet. And that will be going live on Christmas Day. And a very special prize to anyone that watches it when it goes live on Christmas Day. Because I probably won't. Because I'll probably be asleep on the sofa by then. But there will be a Christmas special. And there's the usual range of videos coming out between now and New Year. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, a final aeroplane toss, whee! And I'll say good night, thanks for coming. And I'll end the stream if I can find the button. Here we go.